Hi, this is Jason Deese with the National Weather Service here in Peachtree City. We're going to start out today talking a little bit about the weather over the next 3 or 4 days, primarily through the weekend, and talking about the chances for thunderstorms. We know we have some important events coming up this weekend, some graduations possibly this evening and again on Friday evening. So we're going to talk about the weather and the potential for thunderstorms then. Then we're going to turn our attention to some other items of note, mainly a survey we are encouraging everyone to take in relation to the winter weather, and then also talk a little bit more about the hurricane forecast for this upcoming season. So here's one of the forecast parameters we look at, and what this is looking at is the mechanisms conducive for thunderstorm development. The blues and the greens indicate areas that are favorable for thunderstorm development, and the whites are indicating areas less favorable. And this is mainly for the afternoon hours, and we can see that over eastern portions of Georgia, and especially over our northeast mountains, we're starting to see some areas conducive for thunderstorm development. And in fact, through early afternoon, we're already seeing some strong thunderstorms develop over the northeast mountains. If you look over the southwest portions of the area, we're starting to see some areas conducive for development over Alabama and especially over Florida, and we'll see how that area develops with time. So as mentioned, we already have some strong thunderstorms over the northeast mountains, but as we go into later this evening, we're going to see that area where we had enhanced thunderstorms over Alabama and Florida. That's going to start translating to the northeast, and by 7 p.m. we're going to see that axis set up somewhere near the Columbus area, so we're going to see enhanced thunderstorm activity there, some of which could be strong, and then that axis is going to shift further northeast by 10 p.m. and affect the Atlanta metro. So it's looking like a late start for the southwest portions of the area and then up to the Atlanta metro, which is also unfortunately going to be a late ending for tonight as well. So that's the forecast for this afternoon and into this evening, but we know there's going to be a lot of graduations going on Friday night and again on Saturday night, so we want to detail that forecast here in the next couple of slides. Well, it's certainly getting to be that time of the year. I think they call it the summer doldrums, and we're starting to enter that period where we just have scattered thunderstorms each and every day, and it's really hard to pick out a location where thunderstorms are going to be more favorable than another, but we're going to try to do that for these next couple of days, like I mentioned with the events going on. It's looking like for Friday night we are going to have what we call a backdoor cold front, which is a cold front that comes from the mid-Atlantic states through the Carolinas and eventually into Georgia. Now that can enhance thunderstorm activity along its leading edge. So right now we're expecting that enhancement to occur over northeast Georgia for Friday night. So it looks like the best thunderstorm chances will be there and less thunderstorm chances as you move to the south and to the west. Now, we'll say that these are notoriously hard to predict, these backdoor cold fronts, especially during the summertime, and trying to get a timing on them is very difficult. If we were to lean one way or another, it would be toward a slower movement with this particular cold front, which would keep the activity over northeast Georgia for Friday evening. So as we get into Saturday afternoon and Saturday evening, we can see very little movement on the cold front. Now some models we will say are showing this cold front move very rapidly Saturday morning and well to the southwest of the area by Saturday afternoon, which would bring some drier air into the area and not a lot of activity for Saturday. Right now we're not biting off on that solution. What we're going with is a much slower solution with the cold front, which is more typical of this time of the year. Cold front would stall somewhere over North Georgia, and that would really enhance the thunderstorm activity for the area wide, so that most all areas would see an active day on Saturday. So that's kind of what we're going with now, but that could change, so stay tuned over the next couple of days. So really, as we go into tonight and then Friday night and then again on Saturday afternoon into the evening hours, those are going to be our most active periods. If we look at the 7-day outlook for Atlanta on top and then Macon on the bottom, we can see as we get into late into the weekend, early next week, the rain chances go down. We can't eliminate the rain chances altogether this time of the year, unfortunately, but we do see the rain chances decreasing through early next week with even some cooler temperatures there initially, but then back to the 90s by the time we get into the middle part of next week. Okay, so that was the forecast for the area. We're going to shift gears a little bit. Everybody remembers this image, I'm sure, from our January snowstorm that we had across the area. Well, if you've ever wanted a chance to express your opinion on how things went during that time frame, whether it was the forecast wise or whether you felt prepared or what you thought could have gone better, this is your chance. There's a survey being conducted by some social scientists in conjunction with the University of Alabama, and so we're encouraging everyone to take this survey The link is at the bottom. It's a rather long link, so the best way is just to go to our website at weather.gov/Atlanta and then look in the top at the headlines, and there will be a link there that you can take. And like I said, we're encouraging everyone to do this so we can get a better idea of what we can do better as an agency to help prepare everybody for the next storm. Okay, let's shift gears again. Now we're going to talk about hurricanes a little bit. And we showed this slide during our last week's briefing, and it just shows that for the official 2014 Atlantic hurricane season, we are going with less than normal, a 50% chance that we'll have less than the normal amount of storms to affect the area. We also have hot off the presses yet another one from Florida State University that's kind of going with the same thing, saying that this El Nino is going to act to give us less activity than normal. So the point we want to make today is that we have competing climatologies, if you will. We have the one that says we're going to be going into an El Nino, so maybe some less activity than usual across the area, but we also have this climatology that says, since 1990, we've had 18 storms in 22 years. So we're really seeing at least a storm every 2 years, if you look at the tropical systems on the left, that have tracked within 125 miles of the Atlanta area. So using that and going back to the fact that we haven't had one since Tropical Storm Lee says that in fact the Atlanta area is due for a close call for one of these tropical systems. So we just wanted everyone to be cautious that it only takes one. We know that the El Nino will have an impact, but we really only need that one system to come and create havoc for all of us, so we want everybody to be prepared. So the same goes for the Macon area, and it's probably a little bit worse for there. We're looking at the tropical cyclones tracking within 75 miles of Macon since 1851, and really we're way overdue for tropical systems to affect that area, going on 7 years now. So again, we're just looking at the climatology of the El Nino and contrasting that with the fact that we are overdue in some of these areas for a tropical cyclone. I want everybody to be prepared for the upcoming season in case any of these systems pass close enough for us to feel some effects. So that's it for today. We've gone over what to expect over the next several days, with the greatest chances starting this afternoon into this evening, continuing Friday evening and again on Saturday evening, and then maybe a break for Sunday into early next week. We talked a little bit about the survey you're able to take, and then again about the hurricane climatology. So I want to thank you for your time today. We really appreciate it. Same goes, and probably even a little bit worse.